Mayhem in Minneapolis.
Something should be reconstituted
After federal agents fatally shoot a second American citizen. On your marks.
It is what fuels me.
People from around the world gather for the Miami Marathon. Bracing the cold.
I haven't seen snow like this in years.
As a monstrous winter storm across the U.S. leaves snow and sleet. And a new look.
Quality of our returners is outstanding.
Sideline presents the FIU baseball team's first official practice. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Rachel Quendo.
And I'm Dylan Bazay. Today's Monday, January 26, 2026.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Tensions rising in Minnesota this morning after a second American citizen is shot and killed. A fatal shooting involving federal immigration agents in Minneapolis is sparking protests and controversy across the nation.
Caplin News' Julian Lascano is live in Washington and has more on the story. Julian, what's going on there?
Thank you, Dylan and Rachel. The deadly ICE-related shooting in Minnesota that happened this past Saturday is now causing a political firestorm here in Washington. President Trump is now defending federal agents while Congress is pushing back. All of this is spewing anger onto the streets outside of ICE headquarters. The Trump administration responded forcefully, taking to social media to defend federal immigration agents involved in the shooting. In a statement, the president accused Minnesota leaders of, quote, inciting insurrection, urging Americans to let our ICE patriots do their job, and claiming thousands of undocumented criminals have been arrested as part of federal operations. That rhetoric is drawing sharp criticism on Capitol Hill. Several Democratic lawmakers say the administration's response escalates tensions and avoids accountability.
ICE should be abolished, and something should be reconstituted so we have immigration enforcement.
Any step in the direction of reining in and cutting the funding of an agency that is attacking U.S. citizens, that are kidnapping 5-year-olds, that are using them as bait.
Outside ICE headquarters in Washington, hundreds of protesters gathered, chanting and holding signs demanding an end to aggressive enforcement operations. Lawmakers joined protesters' concerns, with some members of Congress calling for independent investigators and limits on ICE authority. Several have gone further, vowing to block or condition future funding for ICE and Border Patrol operations until new safeguards are put into place. And as the investigation continues in Minnesota, the fight here in Washington continues, with immigration enforcement squarely in the spotlight here in Capitol Hill. Reporting live from the Capitol, Julian Lascano, Caplin News.
And Julian, since we have you there in D.C. and you experienced the winter storm, how are the conditions right now?
Yeah, and as you can see, there was a blizzard that happened just here yesterday in Washington, D.C. 7 inches of snow covering the floor all around Capitol Hill. And that storm has just started, with millions struggling in the face of this unprecedented storm, with frozen roads, loss of electricity, and dangerous conditions. CNN's Leigh Waldman has more.
A monster winter storm is making its way across the U.S., battering 2/3 of the U.S. population with snow, ice, and brutally cold temperatures.
Wild, 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 wild. I haven't seen snow like this in years.
Completely frozen. What the heck?
Schools have been canceled or moved to remote learning, and flight disruptions have continued to climb, with Sunday marking the most cancellations since the COVID-19 pandemic. Ice coating trees and power lines in the south is damaging on its own, but the wind is adding an extra danger. Widespread power outages in the Nashville metropolitan area could last for days, according to the electric utility Nashville Electrical Service. In Louisiana, people are riding out the storm in warming centers after officials confirmed 2 men died from hypothermia. Up north in New York City, Mayor Zoran Mamdani says there are thousands of sanitation workers out on city streets, and plows have started to clear roadways.
We really encourage you to stay home. Staying home is the safest thing you can do. It's the best thing for our city workers.
At least 20 states have declared a state of emergency in response to the historic winter storm, and many will experience its lingering effects for days and even weeks as the cold temperatures stick around. I'm Leigh Waldman.
President Trump's push for a missile defense system in Greenland is causing Russia to be on alert for what comes next. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said on TV that Russia will be carefully monitoring the U.S. for deploying the so-called Golden Dome. President Putin followed, saying Greenland's ownership is not of Russia's concern, but speculates how much President Trump would spend to buy the territory.
Endurance was on full display early yesterday morning as runners took to the streets for the annual Miami Marathon.
Caplin News reporter Patrick Lober has the story.
Thousands of runners hit the streets for the Miami Marathon today, battling heat and humidity for a shot at the finish line. Thousands of runners from around the world gathered to lace up their shoes for the 2026 Miami Marathon, transforming the city's streets into a 26.2-mile showcase of endurance, determination, and the vibrant energy that Miami delivers.
So this is the 5th time I ran the Miami Half Marathon. I never did the full here, and it's my 35th half marathon overall. So I started many years ago running because I was a little chubby and I said, okay, what do? People run. So I went to the treadmill, and at first I hated it, and then a friend of mine told me, oh, let's do a 5K, and it was a great experience, and then I started running, and now I transitioned into triathlon. So.
But the marathon isn't just about the athletes. Family, friends, and volunteers lined up the route.
Sorting all the plastic and aluminum. We have a landfill crisis in Miami, so it's really important that we are diverting as much waste from our landfill. And this is the 3rd year we're doing it, so it's super exciting.
Cheering every step, holding signs, and offering encouragement. From first-time finishers to seasoned athletes, the day became a celebration of community.
This is my first marathon after a major surgery. I've been a competitive athlete my entire life. It is what fuels me. It's something I have to do and need to do. It's just, it's wonderful that I can get accommodations and still be able to compete.
And the celebration didn't stop there. The race continued all throughout the day, with stands to refresh guests and participants after pushing past their limits, and our finishers continuing to cheer on those still going strong. Now today's race is not just finishing in the top 3, it's just by finishing in general, and also being supported by the ones that you are close to. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Patrick Lober.
Rachel, I don't know how excited you are, but I'm excited because the contenders in this year's Super Bowl have been revealed.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
I've said this a couple times now, but it's not necessarily the quantity of returners that we have, but the quality of our returners is outstanding.
FIU's baseball team is warming up for their season opener. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
to roar. The sideline takes you up close and personal with the 2026 FIU baseball team. Practice number 1 is in the books, and game number 1 still looms on the horizon. Sideline Kevin Barral has the latest from the Panthers from the head coach, Rich Witten.
Year 4 of the Rich Witten era got underway on Friday as the team had their first official practice ahead of the 2026 season. It's a new look for this FIU team. With 26 players departing either due to the transfer portal or running out of eligibility, Witten and his staff had brought in 29 players via the transfer portal. Staying with the team are 14 players. For Witten, it isn't really about the quantity of returners, but more so the quality of returners.
The returners have been huge, and I've said this a couple times now, but it's not necessarily the quantity of returners that we have, but the quality of our returners is outstanding. There's guys up and down the lineup all over the field that were certainly contributors on last year's team, and you're seeing them grow into everyday players. You can see they're growing into stars on the field, but also their leadership off of the field is what I've been really impressed with.
Witten sees battles all across the field. There's no spot that has been won by a player, and that is due to the nature of the unknown here with this Panther squad. It isn't only about the position players winning out a job, but also the coaching staff figuring out what is the best role for their starting pitching and their relievers to see who can pitch in the highest leverage situations to hold on leads and win games ahead of 2026.
We're having super competitive battles positionally, both on the mound as well, and guys bringing their A game every single day to earn that job, but not just to earn it, to keep it throughout the year, and also having depth so that you have more options as the season goes along, and you can use different lineups and different rotations and have different looks on the mound as well. So I think that's going to be a big strength of ours this year.
Panthers are set to host the Villanova Wildcats on February 13th. That is a series that will go on from the 13th, 14th, and 15th. A 6 p.m. start, 3 p.m. start, and a 1 p.m. start. Make sure to root for your Panthers on opening night.
The race to the Super Bowl tightens. The New England Patriots are heading back to the Super Bowl for the first time in 7 years after beating the Denver Broncos 10-10 over the NFC. The Seattle Seahawks faced the Los Angeles Rams and came away with a win, 31-27. In the AFC, the Denver Broncos knocked off the New England Patriots last night with a score of 10-7. Over the NFC, the Seattle Seahawks faced the Los Angeles Rams yesterday and came away with a win of 31-27. And the Miami Heat secured a win against the Phoenix Suns last night with the great performances by Bam Adebayo and Jaime Jaquez Jr. The Heat smelled blood in the water with the Suns playing without 2 key players, Devin Booker and Jalen Green, who were out for injuries. The Heat also took advantage of the Suns' offensive breakdowns, going 16-2 in the first quarter. Bam Adebayo went for 22 points and Triple J added 20. The Suns tried to fight back, but the Heat still maintained the lead throughout the game. The final score, the Heat 111 and the Suns 102. The Heat will come back home and host the Orlando Magic Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. The Panthers had a great game on the road against the Chicago Blackhawks last night. No goals were scored until the second period, with one from each team keeping the game tight. But the Panthers were tired of having such tight game and went on a tear, scoring 4 goals, making the final score Panthers 5, Blackhawks 1. The Panthers will come home to face the Utah Mammoth tomorrow at 7 p.m. This has been Sideline. Rachel and Dale will come back with the news break after this.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Every
day.
Every day.
Millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
Watching each other's backs. And banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father.
Cosplayer.
Mentor.
Actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward. Come together.
And discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Dylan Pizet.
And I'm Rachel Quendo. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.